Hello everyone, Dr. Ashes here, and as I promised, this is the final review of the Testosterone Cypionate from the Evolve Biolab. I finally got the result for the active ingredient and the bacterial culture and so many other stuff, which I'm gonna discuss in this video. And beside that, if you have any question and you question worth spending money, you can contact me through the email. I'll be happy to help you. And if you can support this channel, the PayPal is in the description. You can help me through that or through my BTC account. In next video, I'm gonna discuss about those people experience with this. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow that. And besides all of that disclaimer, I do not advocating of taking any kind of steroid or human growth hormone. These are only for entertainment purposes. Please understand these are black market. My main purpose is that introduce those that has more toxic inside to kind of warn you that the consequences. Taking these kind of anabolics can cause serious harm to you, so please discuss with your own doctor before you do anything and put anything inside your system. So all of that has been said, let's get into this story. Testosterone cypionate. First, a brief explanation of what is testosterone cypionate. You all know it's very famous for TRT, it's very famous for the bodybuilders because it has a long half-life. So once you inject, for example, 500 milligram of the testosterone cypionate, within 7-8 days it only become half. So by 8 days it becomes 250, then 8 days after that it becomes something around 75, and so on till it totally go out of your system. And that's a real cypionate from the pharma, not this one. Why is not this one? So I will explain in this video. So I already explained that cypionate can has an effect on your metabolism. It increase your metabolism, reduce your body fat to a certain degree, not as strong as trembolone. It helps your bone density, and of course it increases your red blood cell. However, nowadays it's very difficult to get the testosterone cypionate from the pharma for some reason I'm not discussing here. It become kind of controversial, but beside all of that, everybody try to get it from the black market. And I always said there are not many good cypionate out there, and nobody listened to me. Even Pharmaco, that is very famous, when I tested their cypionate, it was not very potent, and those people who were using it was facing problem. And even though they send it for the test, if the test is not specific, it can come up very quite convincing, but the reality, it is not the cypionate that you're supposed to have it. And I explained in a very short term here, cypionate degrade very fast in the hot temperature. And most of these black market, they do not have a proper storage. The temperature rise up. For example, this particular brand, I think it come from India, and I know in the summer the temperature go more than 42, and if they put it there in the 42 degree, oh my god. So now let's discuss about, so that's the reason most of the cypionate, and cypionate is not a cheap production, is another cheap synthetic steroid to produce. It needs some special trick to make it. Not everybody, just as long as you mix the active ingredient with the oil and just filter it, it's gonna work. So there are so many things about this that people don't know, and therefore the cypionate you buy from the market mostly are useless. And I'm gonna explain about this now. So the first problem with this cypionate is that they did not filter the oil well. I don't know what oil they used, but they did not filter it well, and that will cause some kind of extra problem for your system when it want to totally get rid of everything. So whether you're gonna start, the injection site won't be so painful because the solvent level inside this was quite standard, to be honest. But later on, you're gonna face problems. Especially, it's way easier to get acne and it's way easier for these to get some kind of feverish, some kind of allergic reaction if you take too much of these, because of those non-filtered material that is inside this, and you're gonna inject it to yourself. So the first main problem was the filtration. There is no filtration, or the filtration is very cheap. This is a big problem for this. Second problem, active ingredient is less than 60%. Okay, so if you run a normal HPLC without knowing how to separate the molecules, you're gonna get the big peak. And when you get that peak, you will think that, okay, it's quite, and you compare it to the standard, you can get, oh, it's 85% purity. But if you know how to separate the molecule, it will turn to 4, 5, 6 peak, and they are way shorter. Of course, it divided to several peak, and the reason for that, the cypionate has been degraded. So I think when they started to making this, they came with something like maybe 20% underdose or 30% underdose, but because of the method they used to produce it, or they didn't know how to mix, or the temperature wasn't right, or it's stored in the wrong place, whether the raw material or after, I'm not a psychic, I don't know, but there are so many broken peaks there which indicate the degradation of the testosterone cypionate. So if you inject this to yourself, you're not gonna see much result. So it's very impotent. It is not potent at all. So you're gonna get all those problems for getting rid of all of those particles inside. I don't want to show you my result. But when I even look at it under the microscope, you can easily see the float of those particles inside this. This is very sad, and people will just inject that to themselves. Regarding the bacterial culture, there was no bacterial culture, so it is sterilized, whatever method they used. But as I said, this, no matter how cheap it is, you're not gonna get any result out of it. So I hope this video was interesting for you. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.